welcome to Rantpocalypse Talks Game of Thrones. I'm Justin.
Hey, I'm Kelly. My mic is on, right?
Yeah, your mic is on. Your mic is on.
Yes. I'm such a professional.
You are a professional at this. But yes, welcome to Rantpocalypse Talks Game of Thrones. We are going to be your poor man's Game of Thrones after show for this evening here on Facebook Live, and it will be also up for you to listen to on demand on YouTube, as well as iTunes and Stitcher and Pocket Casts and wherever else it may be in the world of audio forms. And
I told somebody today, I said, just put in podcast streaming places or something, stupid like that. And I said, it'll show up.
It'll show up. You just type in Rantpocalypse on the internet, basically, and it should pull up all of our junk. And it's the easiest to find everything is just go to rantpocalypse.com. But if you want to listen on the go, you've got to go to the iTunes and the Stitchers and all those places, or YouTube if you want to see our lovely faces after we do it each and every Monday night, Facebook Live. We recap and discuss and review the latest Game of Thrones episode. For this week's podcast, we're going to be discussing Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 2, entitled Stormborn.
This is the second title that we've had that is all about Dany.
Yeah. The first one was Dragonstone, and then now we've got Stormborn. So we're gonna change it up because somebody suggested that they missed a certain thing that we did for each week's episode. We are going to continue to have the topics because I like having the topics. It's fun, and plus, like, if we ever want to break them out for a video that's just like that one topic, it's fun. It's fun for like the people on YouTube, so that we can just watch like one specific thing they want to tune into.
Right.
And also, before we get into the recap and review, I just want to say again, thank you so much to Robin. You rock so much. I know that you might have been like maybe embarrassed or something. I don't know. Some people are embarrassed if they like get called out for certain things, even when it's like great things that they do.
Yeah.
I know I'm always a little bit weird. Like any praise that I get, like in jobs and stuff like that, I'm always a little bit weird about, especially when it's in front of other people. And we did put that video out in front of other people to see. But
for everybody to
yeah,
see.
for everybody to see. But wanted to say thanks again to Robin. She is our first patron on patreon.com, where she went and pledged her support to Rantpocalypse and said, I love you guys, and I'm going to give some, throw some bones your way to help support you guys to do more podcasts, to do more TV show recaps and reviews.
And she just blocked us because she's like, I'm sick of y'all. That's enough. That's enough. And by the way, Justin, you're doing a fantastic job.
Oh,
thank
you.
I just thought you should know that.
Thank you so much. Well, all right. So we are going to bring the synopsis back, and then we'll get into our overall episode thoughts. Then we'll get into topic number 2. Is Dany more than just her 3 dragons? It's a very controversial topic to some Dany lovers out there. And then topic number 3, will Jon lose the North? And then topic number 4, overall chat discussion. You guys in the chat, let us know what you want to talk about, and we will discuss it. So on to the episode synopsis for Stormborn. In this episode, Daenerys receives an unexpected visitor that didn't get naked in this episode for once. It was very surprising. Typically when we see Melisandre, whenever she's around, she tends to unrobe and show us the boobies. But she did not in this episode. She kept it very PG whenever she made her trip to Dragonstone. Also, Jon faces a revolt. I don't know about that. I don't know if he really faced a revolt in this episode. I feel like he faced the oncomings of a revolt in this episode. So I thought that was weird that in the synopsis they put Jon faces a revolt. I feel like somebody's projecting a little bit too much in this synopsis that they wrote down. Somebody's not a big fan of Littlefinger and Sansa hanging out in the north. Don't you feel like that way? That's where they're going with this synopsis. Jon faces a revolt. Like, I feel like they should have had like 10 exclamation marks after they put that in the synopsis. Like,
or
they were just really pissy.
a question mark.
Yes, or a question mark. And then Tyrion plans the conquest of Westeros. So he did definitely make some very good plans in the middle of this episode. I liked how this episode picked up right where last week's episode left off. Dany getting to Dragonstone and everything. She's there, and she is ready to conquer the world. She says, "Shall we begin?" at the end of episode 1. And then in episode 2, they've got their war council. They're all planning everything. And I felt like Tyrion came up with a very solid plan, and he completely just read every move in his mind that Cersei and Jaime were actually going to make. It's just unfortunate that he didn't plan for that wild card in Euron mother flippin' Greyjoy.
Yeah, I thought it was really extremely interesting for him to come up with that plan. I mean, how no matter how much you hate your sister, how do you plan for her destruction like that? To just like, y'all go up, wipe her out.
Yeah.
Just kill her. I know how she thinks. I know what her moves will be, and let's just go this direction. To me, the thing about it was, it made it where I felt like Dany could go, you know what, my man, Tyrion, he's on my side.
I completely agree. The plan that he came up with, the fact that he saw, like, he had the foresight to say that we can't attack King's Landing with the Dothraki, with the Unsullied.
No foreigners.
Yeah, no foreigners can attack King's Landing because he said that basically Cersei was going to use that against them and get all the nobles on their side to say that these savages are coming to take over your lands, to rape and pillage your wives and kill your kids and basically wipe you from existence. Like, your history will cease to exist. And not only that, like, that he planned that out, but the fact that he was going to destroy his ancestral home. Casterly Rock was like, that's their spot. And is prepared to destroy the home of the Lannisters, which is kind of crazy.
I think I would have said, look, go find Cersei, sneak in, cut her throat, don't mess with my stuff, because I'm planning on moving back there.
Yeah.
So please don't burn anything down there. I did think it was kind of interesting that he didn't seem to have a problem with sending troops to Casterly Rock, but King's Landing, he was like, no, let's not lay that into ashes. I didn't really understand why there was a big difference between the two for him.
Well, I think he knows that right now Casterly Rock's not as protected, for one, and I think that I don't know why that, other than his disdain for his father and how much he really hated Tywin. At the end of the day, like, he despised him so much. Not to blame Tyrion for not liking Tywin all that much, because we were talking about it before we started recording, the fact that can Tyrion put aside his love of the Lannister name and the love of his family, his brother and sister, no matter how terrible his sister has been to him, she's still his sister. But the real linchpin of terribleness was their father. Tywin was the one that illustrated that it was okay to say that Tyrion was the one that killed their mother and everything, because he could have shut that down immediately back before. So I don't know. I just feel like I feel like the fact that Tywin took such stock in Casterly Rock and that is the home of the Lannister name, that maybe that's kind of like another just like slap in the face to his dead old dad, that he was going to destroy it with these quote unquote savages and everything. So I don't know. I kind of felt like that might be what was going on with that.
And do we move immediately into how that plan went awry?
I definitely think so, because holy crap, that was totally unexpected, that ending. Who saw that coming? Because it had all the makings of a setup episode, right? Like, it was like, all right, Dany's got her plan now. She's about to put this plan in motion, and we'll probably see some more political squabblings here for a little bit. Jon's got to make his way down to meet up with Dany. No, holy shit. Euron just came in and wrecked that plan to hell. How
did they not? I mean, Okay, what is Theon's sister's name?
Yara.
Yara.
Yeah.
How I thought she was a sailor, wasn't she?
I mean, yeah, they're all Ironborn.
Right.
So I mean,
I know.
that's
I'm just saying. Well, more than Theon, because
yeah,
Theon spent all of his time, you know,
riding horses
with the
and like
Starks. Yeah,
yeah,
hanging out
yeah,
with the Starks. Living the good life.
living the
How
good
did?
life in Winterfell.
Okay,
If he was
come
in the
on.
South, I could understand him living the good life, but he's up there where you freeze your
It, wa-
balls off,
yeah,
literally.
okay, it made him tough.
Yeah,
Well, it should have anyway.
it did make him tough. Okay. This is what's gonna piss me off right here. Everybody's gonna just belittle or not little Theon the entire
Right.
time and be like, "Oh, look at that coward! Look at him jumping off in the water. What the hell
What
was
else
he
was he
supposed to
supposed to
do?"
do?
Like, I mean,
Exactly.
Euron had a big ass battle axe that he was about to
Right.
slit Yara's throat with, and what? You expect Theon to just? What is he gonna like Matrix some shit over there and get him
It
to
was
stop
a.
him from like slicing her throat?
Huh?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know.
Howdy. Yeah.
Everybody's saying that there was like that look in Yara's face, that the look of disgust and the
She
fact
did.
that
I think she condemned him.
see, I
She
don't.
had a look of disgust, or
It
and
look,
maybe it was a realistic look.
I don't know. To me, like the second time I watched it, I was looking for that. I was like, all right, is she looking at him with disdain, or is she like, don't do it? I'm half and half. I'm split. I feel like that there's a 50-50 split to me at this point of where there was no hope in Theon attacking Euron. Like that was
Right.
just that there was no good that was going to come from that. Now I don't know if she would have really wanted him to just jump off the boat and just completely just cower in fear the way that he looked whenever he looked at Euron. But there was also a lot of stuff going on around Theon to make him basically like give him the PTSD and everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Theon was cutting fools down though. That's the thing. Theon looked like a badass. Looked like a badass when he was cutting all Euron's men down. And, unfortunately, Yara couldn't take Euron out. Neither
Okay.
could the Sand Snakes. Thank you, God.
How I know you were happy to see them go.
I was like,
But
praise the Lord.
I know. I could hear you from all these hundreds of miles away. How do you know what anybody was doing when they decided to shoot it so dark? It was so dark.
Yeah.
I, I have a problem with that. How do you know who's on your team when you can't see? Everybody looked alike. I mean, they all wear about the same outfit.
Yeah.
Their ships all were basically the same. I mean, they were all built in the same place.
Yeah.
How do you know which ones to burn and whose head to chop off?
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I wanted to tell you that was one of my biggest annoyances, I guess, with this episode, and
Yeah.
the fact that whenever Euron came in, like his little I don't know what you want to call that, his plank came down on the ship and everything,
Yeah, yeah.
onto Yara and
I
Theon's
thought
ship.
the plank was
It
amazing.
it was badass, but it was so over the top to me, and the way that Euron like jumped in, it felt like it was straight up out of a Disney theme park ride. That's what I felt like. I was in a Disney theme park ride. Then it like, obviously from that moment on, it went into like crazy balls to the wall action, people
Right.
getting sliced down, and it was definitely not a Disney ride. It was more like a Westworld theme park for sure at that point. But I don't know, the CGI whenever he came down, and maybe it wasn't. It just my first initial viewing, it looked really crappy. The second time, it didn't look as bad to me. But I'm with you that they definitely had it super dark, and I guess that's how Euron got the jump on them, is that it was all foggy, it was nighttime.
Yeah,
but
right.
still, I'm
And
with
they were
you.
sitting around drinking
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
and
Jesus.
canoodling.
Don't bring it up. That was another one of my bad things in this episode. There's a foreign invasion underway. Really?
Yeah,
Really?
let's not plan it out. Let's drink and screw.
Oh yeah. Well, yes. It was terrible. I just don't understand the writing of those lines. The Sand Snakes lines, they kill me. I mean, that is about it. There's a foreign invasion underway is right up there with You want a bad, you want a good girl, but you need a bad pussy.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It was so bad. Oh my god, it was horrible. Robin had this to say about Theon. He said, I'm like you, Justin. I'm a bit of a Theon apologist. I felt bad for him. And then Robin commented on the fact that you make them stand still long enough to see what armor they are wearing. LOL. That's how I guess you're like, hey,
that's perfect.
I
yes,
can
wait
see
a minute.
your sigil now. Wait, I can't catch you. Oh,
yeah. Be still. Damn it, be still.
Yeah. I like Joe. You're not, or Sue Ellen said, you're not dissing Disney, are you? No, I love Disney. Disney is the best.
Disney all the way.
Disney is fantastic, but Joe is correct. Pirates of the Iron Islands, I see that coming to a Disney theme park near you. With Euron comes in, he's like,
I thought that
with that cackling laugh.
I know you didn't like that. What did you call it? The plank.
I
thought that was just the greatest thing ever. The way it was parted the front of his ship, and it looked so friggin' scary as it was coming at them, and then it just lowers down and captures their ship and holds it. I mean, again, it was very convenient.
It was very convenient. But I love the way it squashed that one person. Somebody gets squashed underneath it, which I was like, man, of all the luck, you get like you don't even have a chance to like maybe die in the battle. You just immediately get squashed by Euron's big plank. Maybe that's what he really had. He's got that big plank and everything.
So is that what he's been bragging about? Is his big plank? Mm-hmm. That's it. What about poor Theon? Where does he go from here? Does he get eaten by sharks? Does he get picked up? I mean, somebody's going to have to find him, or he's going to, I don't know, catch I thought of the Titanic.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of Rose telling Jack, I won't let go, as he goes down into the water. Yeah, and she lets him go,
Oh, it's getting a little cold. I'm going to let you go now.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's all
breaks off his hand and pushes him down.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what's going to happen with Theon. Theon is he had this ultimate comeback story. Comeback story. He jumps off with Sansa, and you think that he's on the road to redemption. He says, "I can't come with you. I've got to go, back to the Iron Islands. I've got to go meet up with my sister and everything, and
be a hero."
Yeah, and you think he's going to be a hero. You start to see those signs in this episode whenever Yara and Ilaria, they're doing their canoodling and whatnot, and you start to see those like PTSD things come up where he's reminded that he doesn't have a penis, and that was one of his favorite things in life. Which is another funny thing about the fact that. How many dudes with no penises are on this show now?
I know.
There's a lot. So
there is a lot.
You go down the list. You got Theon, no penis. Then you've got Varys, no penis. Mm-hmm. Then I don't know. Does
Grey Worm
does
not have a penis?
Have not a penis?
He has no penis.
Has no penis.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe he.
See, I thought they had
maybe
no
he
balls.
has a. Yes, I mean maybe he has a penis.
Yeah, I don't know. The verdict is still out there.
It's so funny that you would say that, because I was actually going to Google, I guess, castration.
Yeah.
To see what was and wasn't possible.
Well, I mean, obviously you get your pets castrated. My dog, he still has a
please, let's just not go there with
male genitalia.
He does.
Yeah, so I don't know, that whole scene there, it kind of threw me off. That, So again, no penis there. At least we think 50-50. Maybe right. One's there, maybe one's not there. Jon has a penis. Will never use it again. He's never going to use it again. So he might as well not have one. Right?
Why is he not?
Because he's true to his one lady in life. You correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a lot. That's a lot right there. That's a lot of dudes. But that was a total side note. Joe said, "My guess is Grey Worm has a penis because he's one of the Unsullied and not called a eunuch." I agree. I think
Yes.
the eunuch has
Okay.
nothing. It's just
Right.
like a Ken doll down there. But I think that the Unsullied still they still have the meat, right? They just don't have the tackle. Is that how it is? I don't know. Is
They
that the
don't.
saying?
No, I don't even know. And that brings up the whole question of how do you urinate if they cut the meat off? But anyway,
I don't know.
this is totally different subject.
Yeah, that's not one of our topics this week,
No.
guys. I'm so sorry.
Stick to the topics.
Yeah, no, none of that's not on the topic list this week. But back to Theon.
Yes. And Sue Ellen has a really great point
Yes.
that they would have cut his sister's throat had he
Theon.
gone towards Euron.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think that's ultimately what Euron wanted, was that he wanted Theon to come after him. But I think he would have killed Yara in that moment right there. It's still weird though. Like, what does Euron do with Yara? Because if she's still around, she's always going to be a threat to his claim to the Iron Islands. And so this is now Euron's gift, right? So this is Euron's gift to Cersei that he talked about in
Right.
episode 1. Is he going to give, like, is Cersei going to care that Yara is one of the gifts? No, she's going to want Ilaria and one of the Sand Snakes. That's a good gift, because Ilaria
Yes.
killed Myrcella and everything. But Yara, what is it? Is this like a bonus? I don't know
Yes,
if she's going to
I
want
think
that
it's-
bonus, though.
I think maybe it is a bonus, because obviously at my first viewing, I thought that Mama Sandsnake was
Yes.
the one that was hanging from the, or actually I thought it was one of the Greyjoys. I need my notes
Oh,
for
yeah.
everybody's names.
The names be
The
hard.
names are so hard. So yeah, I think that's the big gift is the Sand Snakes
Yes.
to Cersei. I don't know. I think that Walder Frey learned that you don't leave anything alive that could possibly come back to haunt you. So having Lady Greyjoy still alive is a big mistake.
Yeah, I think it's a huge mistake for Euron, and I ultimately feel like maybe that's Theon's redemption, because if you remember back, Yara tried to come save him from Ramsay in a couple. So was that season 5? I think that she came to try and save him, and he wouldn't leave the cage. Like, he bit her
Right.
in trying
Right.
to stay there because he was so fearful of Ramsay and what Ramsay would do to him. And so I feel like maybe that is Theon's ultimate redemption, is that now he must save Yara. And, is that, I guess, cliche or kind of like, I don't know, some people might think of that as poor writing. I don't know.
I mean,
but
they're brother and sister.
yeah, I kind of like it. I like, I am a Theon apologist, and for a lot of the guys on this show, it's always been all about trying to get the love and approval from their fathers, from their hard-ass fathers, because everybody in Westeros is like, the dads are like the most hard-ass people around because they grew up during Robert's Rebellion, and it was just war.
Right.
And the kids like that are, I guess, whatever, the 15 to 25-year-old boys or 30-year-old boys, maybe, I don't know how old. No, because we did find out that Jamie's like 40 something like that, because I remember that little shit Joffrey said something about him, like, you're
old.
Yeah, you're old, you're hitting your 40s. Where's the rest
Right.
of your book in the book of all the knights and everything?
Right. What an ass.
Yeah, I know, man. That was that part where I was like, Jamie, that's your kid. Get your kid in line. Get your kid in line right now.
Beat him now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've always been a Theon apologist because, yeah, he just always wanted the love of his father. His father gave him off to the Starks. Obviously, the Starks were way good to him. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He grew up
Yeah.
in as loving of a household that he could have, probably more so than his own father. And I think that's ultimately what Theon realized eventually, is that Ned was more of a father to him than his own father ever was, and taught him like the right values and everything. So, but I don't know. I want Theon in the end. I want him to come back and make this redemption story. Like I want that to happen. So I don't know if it's
So
going to
yeah,
happen.
I think it had to happen the way it did. He
Yeah.
had to jump off the ship.
Yeah.
He had to have PTSD and do the freak out.
Yeah.
That was the only way that he and his sister were going to survive,
Yeah.
come out of this. So
I
good
agree.
point, y'all. Good job.
Yeah,
y'all talked me, moved me back around to the right area that I needed to be.
We circled around it. Some really other quick things that I wanted to talk about with you before we got into the topics. My boy, Jorah Mormont.
Yes.
He could potentially be saved by the man, the myth, the legend, Samuel
Okay.
Tarly.
I'm going to predict this right now.
Yeah.
The Lord of Light predicted the prince who was promised.
Yeah.
It is Samuel Tarly.
That's who it is.
It is Sam.
It's Sam.
Sam has, oh my God, his story has changed so much. He is the man. I am in love with this dude.
I'm in love with Sam as well, and I love that his dad came up in this episode too.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably get into that topic of Randall Tarley during topic 2 and 3. But I'm with you. Like he's one of my favorite characters on the show, and I do find it interesting that whenever he was talking to the Archmaester, the Archmaester's like trying to teach him how to write, and not just like write, pin letters that are going to go on ravens about war and stuff, but write
poetically.
write the history of Westeros type stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a part of me thinks that Sam's going to be the last standing
He's gonna
survivor, and
it's going to be the only one, and that is where we actually get the Game of Thrones. We find out the history of it. It's from Samuel Tarly.
Yes.
I love that he once again has gone against what he was told to do, and is going to try to save Jorah. But that was the grossest scene. I think it topped the poop and soup from last week.
Yeah.
When they go from he's peeling the skin and pus is coming out and it's all crusty and crackly, to crusty and crackly pie where creaminess comes out of it. I'm like, oh, y'all are trying to kill me.
I know you're trying to kill my eating vibe right now. I had a nice, I was eating a nice, soup or something like that last week. Now I can't enjoy chicken pot pie anymore.
No, and I'm a
on.
big fan of the chicken pot pie.
Yeah, I know. It's so true. Joe said, "I'm glad that scene wasn't closer to Thanksgiving. Might make it harder to carve that turkey." Oh man, it was a rough scene, and I did love that. Like Sam, back-to-back weeks has had like this little mix-up, mash-up scenes and everything. It was really gross. Is that the same thing as getting an exfoliation, or you getting your skin exfoliated? Like, I mean, is that how he saved him?
That's exactly how it is. When we go in for a facial and when they exfoliate, they give us rum and they give us something to bite down on, and they just tell us, "Look, y'all, just don't scream. You'll get me fired.
Be good for you in the end.
Yes, you're gonna look younger."
Yeah. So Jorah's just gonna come out there looking like 20 years younger, and then he's gonna be able to hook up with Dany.
Yep, Dany's gonna fall in love with him, and it's all golden. It's all going to be great. That's what we wanted in the first place, right?
Exactly. That I do want that. I get it. People are like, "Oh, that's gross. He's so much older than Dany." Whatever. Love is love, people. Love is love. I mean,
exactly. And he's hot as hell. Have you seen his stomach?
I told my girlfriend. I said, "That's who I want to look like when I get older. I want to look like Jorah freaking Mormont when I get older." I mean, he's like got a barrel chest. I mean, he's like barrel chested. He's like, "Hey, I'm Superman." He looks like he's like like all the images of Superman from like the 50s, I guess. Yeah, somewhere in the 50s. Yeah, that's Jorah freaking Mormont right there. I love him so much, and I'm so glad that Sam may possibly have saved him. And I think that means that the next logical step is for Sam and Jorah to make their way down to Dragonstone and meet up with Dany and Jon Snow, because Jon Snow's going to make his way It's gonna be great.
It is going to be great. Okay, so um,
Wait,
do we want to
I just wanted.
move?
Yeah, move where?
I'm just curious. Our third topic is
Yes.
about John
Oh, sure. We
losing
can.
losing the North.
Yeah, we can go. We can go into that. I just wanted to say something in the comments because Sue Ellen completely affirms your affinity for Jorah
Yes,
Mormont. She
I
said,
am high-fiving you,
yeah.
Sue
Sue Ellen
Ellen.
said he is hot, and I hope he and Danny get together. Yes, love is love. So
Yep, and I have a Band-Aid for him.
there you go. He's gonna need a lot
Am
of
I?
band-aids. Lots and lots of
And
band-aids, I think.
some good Neosporin. So
Yes.
yeah.
Definitely gonna need a lot of that. Okay, so sorry, I had to give you that comment because I knew that you're like
Yes.
that's totally on your side that Jorah
Mhm.
Mormont is hot. Ian Glenn, sexy
all
sexy dude,
all
sexy
about
dude.
it. Yep.
Okay,
So John is going to be making his way to Dragonstone to Danny to meet up. I can't even remember what your train of thought was on that, but basically my question is, is he screwing up? Is he losing the North? That's the topic.
yes. Is he screwing up and losing the North? I think that he could possibly be doing that, not by going down there to meet up with Danny, because I think that definitely needs to happen. There's dragon glass down there because he got the letter from Sam, and that Sam's like, hey, you got to come down here because there's tons and tons of dragon glass. You need that in order to kill the White Walkers and to fight the Night King and all the Whites and everything.
I'm solving all the world's problems here at Old Town. What the crap are you doing, Jon Snow? That's what it said on his note.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I did not like the note. I did not like what Danny said about him.
No.
The fact that that he needs to come down there and bend the knee. Because I mean, to me, I think topic 2 and topic 3 they're almost together. Is Danny more than just her 3 dragons, and will Jon lose the North? They are separate in some ways, and I'll try to go back to what my thought process will Jon lose the North is the fact that that moment that he had with Littlefinger down in the crypt, and they're looking at the statue of Ned Stark, and which made me sad because I'm like,
I know, and it looked just like him. It was
Yeah.
so great.
I know. I thought that was a very sad moment. But it was also cool because I think is that the first time that they've actually ever had scenes together? I'm sure Robin can confirm this for us because she's like our Game of Thrones aficionado right now at this point. And I feel like that was their first scene together.
Well, he did say, I mean, other than, him Littlefinger standing in the back of the room going,
Yeah. But they I don't feel like they've ever talked.
well, Littlefinger says, we've never really had a conversation.
Yeah,
So,
never had a proper conversation or anything. But I feel like that's how he may be losing the North is by going down there and leaving Sansa in charge. Whenever we know that Littlefinger, he's got some kind of plot that he's planning and scheming. When you go back at the beginning, all of the Game of Thrones was. All of the events were started because of Littlefinger. I mean, he's the one that conspired to kill Jon Arryn and got him killed, which ultimately led to Ned going down and being the hand of the king, and then the king Robert gets killed, and so like he's the ultimate bastard of Game of Thrones, and he's also very smart. He's got his chess piece. He's done everything that I think he's wanted to do. Except for make Sansa fall in love with him faster than he wants it to happen. And I feel like he's going to do something. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know how he would get Sansa on his side. And ultimately, I feel like maybe Arya is going to have to be the one that comes there and saves Sansa from Littlefinger. And that's maybe the only way that Jon doesn't lose the North. But there's something that's going to happen there. I don't know what's going to happen, and that's like the biggest mystery to me, I think, right now with the show is what's going to happen with the North now that Jon's left.
I don't feel like it was a good move for him to go to Dany.
Yeah.
I felt like he should have sent Sansa. I think that Dany would have been a lot more receptive to her than to Jon. You've got some dude that's calling himself the King of the North coming. No, I'm immediately, I've got my defenses up. But if you know, I mean, okay, other than the fact that she might have been offended.
So if it was the Queen of the North, it's okay?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay.
She probably would have been offended regardless. But I just thought, they'd be a little, I don't know, more receptive, more, girl power kind of thing. I don't know. I didn't think it was a good move. And for him to leave the North with all these people that have just pledged their loyalty to him when they're all going, oh, hell no.
Yeah, no, Robin agrees with you that Sansa would have been a good choice. But I'm glad that you brought something up because my girlfriend and I had a laugh and a chuckle over this as we're watching Game of Thrones. I think even before the episode started, because it's something you just said. You just said, she would have been like girl power and okay, I don't like this is like I guess could be a touchy one here. Because I am a dude and I'm talking about this, but I think it's funny to me that there's a lot of that going on with Game of Thrones right now. It's like I mean you look at the Dany's War Council and it's Lady Olenna, it's Ilaria and the three Sand Snakes. Missandei's got a very big vocal part of her War Council and everything. So it's mostly led by women, right? I mean, Tyrion is there, but that's really it. Grey
He's
Worm.
the hand of the queen. Her most trusted advisor is a dude.
I agree. But it's like, a lot of people are like, girl power, girl power. Who are they fighting?
No, I mean, she's fighting Cersei. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Cersei is not female. She's not male. She's just beast.
She's just beast. I don't know. I thought it was funny the fact that it's now it's come down to the battle of all these chicks basically. It's like that's it's like them versus Cersei.
You would laugh about this if it was dudes. Would you point that out if it was dudes? I don't think you would.
Well, the only reason why I point this out is because of things that my girlfriend teaches me and the things that my mom teaches me. That you women are sometimes meaner to each other than you are to it's so funny that because you'll get together and you'll be like girl power and they're like I hate that bitch.
Hey God, that bitch! Did you see what that bitch had on?
Yeah, the other girl at the girl power meeting.
How much has she gained in the past week since our last meeting?
Exactly. I don't know. A total side note, but and please don't send too much hatred towards my way. I just thought it was a funny observation, the fact that it's come down to Dany versus Cersei at this point because Jon doesn't give two craps about Cersei. Like I know.
No,
that
I mean he was the one that said I didn't want this.
Yeah.
You made me the king. I don't want to be king.
I want to be king. I don't want to be king. And that again, I don't think he is the best king. I think Sansa, if she keeps progressing the way that she has been, I think that she's the best overall ruler of the North. Of Castle Black, of Winterfell and everything, all that.
To be able to go head to head with Cersei, Sansa is the one. In my opinion.
I think at this point now, yes. I don't think Dany's prepared. I don't think Dany is not ready to go to the depths that Cersei can go, and Sansa would be because of all the punishment that she's endured for all these years now at the hands of Cersei and the Lannisters and the Boltons and she knows
how they think, how they act, what they're gonna do. I was kind of disappointed in Dany. And when we came up with the topic of basically, is she more than her just three dragons? Yeah. And at this point, I'm not really sure that she is. And she's not even using those effectively.
No, she's not. Honestly, she needs to let Lady Olenna run things. Because Lady Olenna would get shit done. She is, she's telling her, you're a dragon. go take the throne. You know, these
Burn
foolish,
some shit.
yeah, burn some shit down. These foolish men. You know how I outlived them all? I didn't listen to them.
Yeah.
You know, Tyrion. It was a very smart plan, and I agree. Like with a lot of the points of his plan and a lot of the strategic elements of his plan. But at the end of the day,
His strategery was great.
It was on point. It was on point. But at the end of the day, he should know better than anybody. Cersei plays the most evil game she can play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's not gonna play by the rules, and that's what, you know, Tyrion, God bless him, you know, he does to me play within like the rules of, you know, like combat where you don't sneak around and everything. You stand in front. You know, your lineup versus my lineup, and everybody just stands in front of each other and shoots, and whoever has the most guns ultimately wins that war. Like that's
Right.
that's how, you know, that's how other countries lost wars.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, small countries that were small upstarts and wanted to gain their freedom from other people. I'm not saying any names, but we lived there. How they eventually beat other nations. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean because they played like different tactics, and that's what Cersei does and Tyrion doesn't do.
Right.
I did want to say that Joe had a good point about Jon. Jon Snow needs to be a general and let somebody else rule. Totally agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he is. He can fight some skirmishes, and I think he could have good plans out in the battlefield.
Yeah.
But he's definitely not made to sit in the throne. And I feel kind of like you have to want it a little bit more than he does.
Oh, then Jon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jon doesn't want it. I at the end of the day, I think Jon wants to die. Like, and I don't think that Jon will live. I think Jon will see things through to the very end, and he will be there.
He wants to die again.
Yeah, die again. Yes, but I think he wants to stay dead this time, and I think that ultimately what Jon Snow would want is to be like, you know, to be the Ned Stark and just stay the hell away from all the southern politicking,
right,
and just live up in, you know, in Winterfell and have the woman that he's in love with,
right,
and live a very simple life. Jon is very like Ned in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Ygritte died, and, you know, that was the love of his life. And at this point, I think that he just wants to make sure that Sansa, the North, that they don't get destroyed by the Whites, the White Walkers, and the Night King. And then I feel like if it, you know, came down to it, he would die happy. Like, say he laid out the final blow on the Night King, but they both hit each other at the same time, and Jon Snow died in the end. You know, the
one goes this way,
one goes the other way.
Yeah.
It's that double knockout, and they both die and everything. So
yeah.
I love Michael's comments about the fact that Tyrion is Bill Belichick and Dany is Rex Ryan. That is good sports analogy right there, in my opinion. Very good sports analogy. But
which is awesome if I understood it.
I'm sorry, Mom, but I got you, Michael.
I know who Bill Belichick is, but that's all I know.
Well, Rex Ryan, he's just another head coach and always hated, you know, like he always wants to beat Bill Belichick, but yeah. So, but go back to your point about, is Dany more than just 3 dragons, and you not thinking that she is? Do you think that she's already lost the war before she ultimately got started?
You know, again, I was so surprised at that loss immediately. I thought they had a good plan. I thought it was like you said, it was a plan that was going to come to fruition possibly sometime down the line.
Yeah.
But for it to just be cut off so quickly. So now what is she going to do other than use the 3 dragons? That's basically, I mean, or join up with Jon, which I hope she's smart enough to do.
I hope so too, because I mean, Euron has laid waste to her fleet of ships. You know, at the very beginning, I think they had the plan. They had the fleet of ships. You know, how I wrote it down, like basically what they said that they had. they've got an army, fleet of ships, and 3 dragons. Now they just
Yes.
have an army and 3 dragons at this point.
Yeah.
And Qyburn, with his freaking gigantic, whatever that thing is, I can't think of the name of it.
It's a crossbow.
Crossbow, yeah, gigantic
huge
crossbow
crossbow.
arrow. She may be down a dragon or 2 if whenever
Okay.
she attacks King's Landing or Castle Rock.
You have to. That's a pretty hard thing to maneuver. So while I can see getting excited about it, punching a hole in a huge skeleton, and that was what was so
Oh.
amazing to me was
Yeah.
seeing that huge skeletal head and have Cersei stand next to it, and you realize how ginormous these dragons are. But I mean, it's nice for them that they've got something that makes them feel strong. I don't know. Maybe Westeros is just going to burn. All of it's going to burn.
That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting at this point. Like, I had a topic that I thought about us discussing during the recap was, will the good guys win at this point? George R. R. Martin has shown us over the years, like, when you're going off of his stuff from the book specifically, the good guys lost a lot of times, and since it's gone off book, the good guys have been winning a lot of battles recently within season 6 and now in season 7. And now they just lost. Obviously, we just had a major blow. As I'm saying, like the good guys always win. They just took an L really quickly. So.
Okay, so Euron's got his prizes and presents now.
Yeah.
Does he go directly back to Cersei? Does she marry him?
I think so.
I think so too. And Jaime's gonna be pissed as a mother. You know what?
Yeah, I think that's the downfall of Cersei at this point. Mm-hmm. Is that she is going to screw Jaime over, and Jaime will kill her. Now, this is slight spoiler territory here, but I want to bring it up. So if you guys don't want to hear any types of spoilers at all, just like mute us for a second or two.
Book spoiler?
It's not anything from the book. It hasn't happened in the book or anything.
Okay.
But
this is something just that you dreamt.
Well, there's another aspect of the prophecy that Cersei was told. Whenever they had that one episode where she met that lady, and I forget what that lady's name was.
It was a gypsy out in the middle of the woods that told her that you'll have your children and.
Everybody was going to die. Like your children are going to die. You're not going to marry a prince. You're going to marry a king, and then another more beautiful younger one's going to come and take your place. Well, there's a third part of that prophecy where it basically I don't remember what it is in High Valyrian because I don't speak High Valyrian, not at least on a regular basis. I do it off time. I do it
all the
time
in
secret.
When we're just talking, you do.
Yeah. But there's a certain part of the prophecy, Maggie the Frog. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate you. You got the good memory. So there's a certain part of that prophecy that basically, when you boil it down, it says that Cersei is going to be choked out by a younger sibling. I think it's brother, though. I think it's specifically brother. Now, the thing about this is, everybody immediately points to Tyrion.
Right.
Like, Tyrion. Because we know that Cersei and Jaime are twins.
Right.
You can be the younger twin, right?
Yes, definitely. They don't both pop out at the same time. I don't know if you've never been down there before, but things don't go they don't go like that.
I wouldn't want to be down there after that, that's for sure. Yeah, that would be terrible. You guys thought that the most disgusting thing you were going to see was or hear about was the exfoliation from Sam, and no, we just beat it just right there.
Twins being born at the same time. Yeah, so it could very well be that Jaime is the younger of the two.
And Jaime could be the one that chokes Cersei out because at this point I do believe that's the only way that Cersei loses, because I think that now that because the other Tarly that we're going to talk about, Randall Tarly, potentially joining Jaime and going off to Casterly Rock and fighting the Unsullied in the Dothraki army. I love Grey Worm a lot. I think he's awesome, but I don't know if he is going to be as skilled and adept at these large scale battles. The same reason, the same thing with the Wildlings. The fact that Tormund didn't know very simple battle structures
Right.
and that kind of stuff. I just feel like with Randall Tarley coming on there, apparently he's this great strategic warrior in battle. The fact that he is the only one to beat Robert Baratheon in the battlefield, that's a big coup for Jaime. And yeah, so like I don't even know if I see. I feel like at this point she's just gonna have 3 dragons. Like she's and maybe hopefully Jon Snow and the North, and that's how they're gonna fight. I hope that Grey Worm doesn't die. There's nobody in the Dothraki army that I really care about at this point.
I know, but I mean, he's going to die.
Yeah.
They had their tender love scene. He got the closest to a woman's vagina that, other than when he was born, that he'll ever get again.
Yeah.
And I know your favorite part of the entire run of Game of Thrones was her.
That was a really creepy smile I just made.
It was her. Well, it was either that you had to smile like that, or spit water out of your.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that I can go back to that scene. Yeah, it was a good scene. That was. I mean that probably got at least 1.5 bacons on its own just for that scene.
Yeah.
Good job, Grey Worm.
I do think that, which is really interesting. Is it Grey Worm because it's shriveled?
I don't know. I don't know why he's Grey Worm.
There's no blood going to it, and so it turned gray. Anyway, I'm just.
You digress.
Again,
the whole. Once we get into the Grey Worm Missandei scene, it just the conversation just devolves back to where we're like 12 years old, I believe.
Exactly.
So,
but I think I want Cersei to die by Jaime's hands. I really do. I want it to be him, and I feel like they've been leading up to it.
Yeah.
At the end of last year, was it last year?
Yeah. Whenever he came back in and he saw her taking over as the queen and
I'm busy.
Yeah. No, it was
getting a crown.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, Robin said it would be so poetic for it to be Jaime, and then Alex said, "Yes, Jaime is younger. I need it to be him." I'm with all of you guys. Like, I think that it would be rough to see, obviously, because
it would be. I mean, they've been I've loved them together.
Yeah, they're the couple that you
I know.
Like hate to love, but you kind of love them. I don't know. Yeah, it is very odd to even say that. It's really weird at the end of the day. But for Jaime, to me, I want him to have like this ultimate redemption. I don't know why I want it so much for him, but I want him to still be around to be able to fight the White Walkers, and the Night King. Like, I don't know. There's just a part of me that I want him and Tyrion like to finally get to come together and be in the ultimate battle, as opposed to these like BS skirmishes that Jaime keeps getting in. And I hate that he lost his hand, because apparently Jaime was just ultimate badass, and I would have loved to have seen him like get to be like that battle it out knight, and I get to be put in that book like he wants to be. Like, he wants those pages filled with all these good things that he's done. And like the way that Randall Tarley spoke to him too, and I'm just like, dang, everybody just straight up disses Jaime,
Do not talk to my boy like that.
Yeah, Momz will come hunt you down if you speak ill about Jaime. So
that's kind of why I want him to kill Cersei. Leaves the door open for me.
Yep, the door will be wide open just for you. That is very true. So getting back to just like kind of everything, is Dany more than just her 3 dragons? At this point, I'm with you. I don't know. I feel like she should have listened to Lady Olenna and just straight up attacked King's Landing, just bombarded them with the Dothraki, the ships, and the 3 dragons all at once. I hope she doesn't lose a dragon, because we're going to need them, because just like Davos said, what kills whites? Fire. And
fire.
Let's go get those dragons, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know. She just right now, she's a little bit too arrogant for my taste. A little bit much.
Arrogant and naive, because she let Tyrion totally change her plan and her mind on it immediately. So is the Lannisters going to be her downfall? the ones that she puts in charge, or one of the other ones. I don't know. I just thought she doesn't have what it takes to lead. I mean, she's a baby still. She's just a baby. They're all babies.
Yeah.
They don't live long there.
No.
In olden times, they didn't live long.
No, they did not. It's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait. I'm very excited to see what happens next with John making his way down there to meet up with Danny and to see what happens.
And your girl Arya.
Yeah.
Now that she's possibly headed home.
Hopefully she does. Hopefully she keeps going that way. You know, she had the reunion with Nymeria. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like that. It was great seeing them together, but it was just kind of... And I totally understand, like, the metaphor, the fact that, Nymeria was too wild and she needed to be out there in the wild. The same thing for Arya. She didn't want to be a princess, and she
wear
wanted
pretty
to
dresses.
Yeah.
And
Exactly, yeah. The whole, like, thing that D&D talked about at the end of the episode. I thought it was cool. And I think that was kind of really it for this episode.
We have not given our bacon scores.
No, we have not. I want to see, just really quickly, Alex said, I agree, Tyrion knows Jon is not going to be down with bending the knee. You could tell by his face. Yeah, Jon's not going to want to bend the knee to anybody. And he shouldn't have to.
Groovy great. He was like, yes, he's a great guy. You guys need to get together and chit-chat. And he must come and bend the knee, and Tyrion's like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's not what I meant.
No. Come on, Danny.
So once again, she's trying to exert her authority when at this point she doesn't really have any.
No, she doesn't. I mean,
except for the three dragons.
Yeah, the three dragons definitely gives her some authority, but not enough to just take over Westeros that quick and easy. Okay, so our bacon score. How many bacons out of 5 do you give this week's episode?
Okay. I'm going to give mine, last week I gave 5.
Yeah.
Bacons.
You're pretty high.
I was just really excited and riding the wave of, oh my God, it's finally back.
Yes.
So this week I'm going to give it 4 1/4 bacons because it was really good. The battle was awesome. This wasn't a perfect episode for me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I mean, if it was all based on Sam, it would have been 5 out of 5 out of 5 out of 5.
I agree with you there. So you give it a 4 1/4 bacons out of 5. Mm-hmm. This is tough because I gave last week's episode a 4.5 out of 5. I do believe I can't
Something
give
like that.
Somewhere around there. The Sand Snakes dying.
Oh, that's a 5 out of 5
That's
for you,
a
buddy.
pretty high up bacon score. I'm like, sweet Jesus, we're finally done with that storyline. Almost. Alaria's gonna,
Missandei taking off her robe.
And Missandei taking off her robe. That's pretty good. But then there was no Hound in this episode, so that's gonna deduct quite a bit because I love the Hound a whole lot. I think I'm going to agree with Robin. I think that this was a 4 out of 5 bacon episode for me. 4 out of 5.
Okay.
There was lots of good things to like. I think, to me, everybody's going to talk about the Nymeria reunion. To me, it was all about hot pie. I love seeing that reunion. I thought that was fantastic. It was so sweet seeing those two talk together, and the fact that hot pie's like, and to think that I thought you were a boy, you're pretty. And I just chuckled
you're
pretty hard. Yeah, you're so
and she's
pretty.
Like, thanks, hot pie.
Yeah, exactly. So, but other than that, I mean, I thought it was an overall really good episode.
Of course, it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's Game of Thrones. It's awesome, and that battle scene at the end was epic. I know that I have some grievances with it, but overall, it was really badass, and it was brutal as hell. Seeing Euron, the way that he killed the Sand Snakes, that was rough. That was rough to watch. He
enjoyed it so much. I mean, when he picks her up on her spear, which, again, I can't remember those girls' names. Sister one with the spear, and, just kind of shakes it. That was horrible. And then chokes the other one out with her golden lasso.
Yeah.
So it was rough. And then dishonors their body by putting them on the bow of the ship.
Yeah, that was a little bit much there, Euron. You know, maybe you could have just left them on the boat. And even though as much as I hate the sand snakes, that would have been okay with me. But then you put them on like on the front of the ship, and I'm like, oh man, Euron. I hate the sand snakes, but that's kind of a dick move for me. So
I know, but you know what? I do love him.
Yeah.
I love him. He's cray cray.
He is definitely cray cray. Man, Robin, how do you even remember the sand snakes? It's because they're better in the books, I think, because it's Obera with the spear, Nymeria with the whip.
Now wait a minute. Okay, Nymeria. See, this is where Mr. Martin tried to throw me off.
Yeah.
Nymeria has the whip, and the
direwolf.
The direwolf's name is very similar.
It's
it's
Nymeria too.
Is it the same name? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And then you've got Missandei and Melisandre, whatever, and they're in the same friggin' room. Yeah. And I'm like, you bastard.
Tyrion and Tywin.
Yes, which has always thrown me off.
Yeah.
And then Theon, Euron, and sister.
Oh yeah, I mean they're all very confusing. Yeah. Bran and Bronn, you know. You got Bran and you got Sir Bronn of the Blackwater.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's he. I mean, come on. At the end of the day, how many names has he had to come up with? So it's like I forgive him for getting a little bit close.
Somebody put back in the chat at some point, why don't we have any Dons and Pats? You know.
I think that was Sue Ellen said that earlier. The fact that the names. Come
on, let's have some real names, some regular names.
Yeah.
Some Justins and some Kellys.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why John's my favorite.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only one we can remember.
Yeah, Jon Snow.
You spell it wrong every time.
It's Jon, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Don't you tell me that I spelled my main man's name wrong. Get out of here with that.
I mean, it took me, 6 seasons to learn Sansa and Cersei.
Yes, it did. I like Joe. Sauron and Saruman. Whoops, wrong story. Nice. Nice deep Lord of the Rings cut there. So,
good job.
Yeah, Robin Sue Ellen did have a very excellent point there with the names. That was pretty funny watching you guys. I was watching you guys chat about it down there in the chat on the live stream. It was fun. And for all the audio listeners and the people on YouTube that watch this, if you want to be a part of the every week discussions live, you can go to our Facebook page. It's Rantpocalypse. It's just RANT and POC, and then the rest of it it'll pretty much come up whenever you start that far down the line. Just go like that, follow us on Facebook, and get notified when we go live each and every week. But if you want to get it on demand, of course you can on YouTube. It's Rantpocalypse, or on podcast services, just search Rantpocalypse. So, and we would love for you to give us a rating and review on those things, because that greatly helps us out. We need those big time. Robin, thank you so much for your review on there. That was fantastic of you to do.
When you change up your name a lot, if I could just cut and paste all the old reviews, it'd be fantastic.
That would be so great. We had so many reviews for our old podcast, but that was because we also did them on a consistent basis, and we were always there for people. We might not have been the best recappers, reviewers of shows, but we were there for you.
We were there.
Yeah, we were there. Those crappy shows that nobody else talked about, like The Strain.
Oh yeah, exactly. We were there.
We were there. Alex, thanks so much for joining us here in the live stream. We really appreciate it, and we would love to have you back. And again, if you can't make it, like I said, you can go find the video on demand or the audio on podcast services. So that's all we got for this review of Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 2. It was a good one. Maybe not as good as last week, but some really good stuff as well. Very excited to see Jon and Dany in next week's episode. So, and to see what she's gonna do. Like, holy crap, she's gonna have to figure out, like, I just lost half my army, half everything. All right, thanks for hanging out, guys. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.